Kia has just come out with their new electric car, the EV6. We have more details on it. I can tell you one thing, no one, I know anyways, would have ever expected a Kia to have this much power. Let's get into it. Here we are at the Kia media page. Kia EV6 redefines boundaries of electric mobility with inspiring design, exhilarating performance, innovative space. Okay, reading the bullet points here, there's a ton of information. I was not expecting this. I woke up this morning actually to do a live stream on Lexus's brand transformation for electrification. That was kind of like a nothing burger. We got a design, but that was about it. And Kia doesn't mess around. They're like, no, our vehicle's coming, here are the specs. So let's get into it. EV6 is a brand new electric car built on the eGMP platform. You're also going to see vehicles like the Ioniq 6 and Ioniq 5 built on this same platform. Lots of different powertrains. Wait till we go to the spreadsheet to get all the details on it. There's an 800 volt fast charging like we saw in the Ioniq 5, but it goes from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes when hooked up to an 800 volt charger. That's super fast. And you get about 100 kilometers or 60 miles of range in less than 5 minutes. EV6 GT, so I have that highlighted because I wanted to read a lot about this thing. Accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, which is 62 miles per hour, in 3.5 seconds. So 0 to 60 is going to be like 3.3 seconds. On a Kia, guys. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Top speed at 260 kilometers per hour. I'll put what that is in miles per hour. Guys, we're getting a supercar, well, at least supercar-like performance from a Kia hatchback crossover looking thing. Just mind-blowing. So there are 3 variants. There's a normal version, there's a GT line, and then there's the full-fat GT. This thing's a screamer. But before we get into the spreadsheet, let's go over some other important details here. It will go on sale in select global markets starting from the second half of 2021. I don't know what its availability is going to be like throughout the United States. I would expect them to prioritize places like California first. Online reservations begin March 30th in some areas. That's today. That's at the time of this recording. And it will be produced in South Korea. That really doesn't come as a surprise here. Now, you also have to realize that the Ioniq vehicles, and I would assume it's the same because the kilowatt hours for the batteries are the exact same as the Ioniq vehicles. Those were supposed to be supplied by SK Innovations, and they kind of just got banned here in the United States. So it'll be interesting to see what Kia and Hyundai and Genesis, for that matter, are going to do about their battery supply in the coming months and years. When it says go on sale in select global markets starting from the second half of 2021, that might not be here in the United States due to the legal issues that SK Innovations is having versus LG Chem. Yeah, so stay tuned on that. I'll definitely let you guys know. The interior looks pretty cool. We really haven't seen a whole lot of options for the interior. All we know is that on the GT package, there's lots of high visibility green, but I would assume that you have different colors that you can switch, but also there's tons of ambient lighting, like an insane amount of ambient lighting that is going to be customizable. And there's this huge wraparound screen. It's curved towards the driver. I thought that was pretty neat. They said they're using a lot of reclaimed plastics, about 100 1-liter water bottles, something like that. Just a lot of reclaimed plastic. But when I was thinking about it, we still have a long ways to go in terms of making the manufacturing of these cars a little bit more eco-friendly. But at least they're doing something. At least they're trying to get some recycled materials in there. It has a really long wheelbase. It's even longer than the Kia Sorrento's wheelbase. 520 liters of trunk space with the second row seats in place. So not even folded down. When they're folded down, it increases to approximately 1,300 liters. I'll put what that is in cubic feet. It also has a frunk, which has a really small 52 liters of storage space for the 2-wheel drive models and 20 liters of storage for the all-wheel drive models. So yeah, definitely not as much on the all-wheel drive. Maybe a small bag, maybe a backpack or something like that will be able to fit in there. Hopefully it's insulated so we can put some ice in there, use it as a cooler. I think that'd be cool. No pun intended there. Gosh, all right, keep reading. Now I mentioned the charging. It goes 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes on an 800 volt charger. And you can do vehicle to load functionality. So if there's a blackout or something like that, you can use a battery on the vehicle to charge the house. I don't know how useful it would be, but if a hurricane comes by, I think it would be pretty useful if you need to run the AC. It can supply up to 3.6 kilowatts of power and is capable of operating a 55-inch TV with an air conditioner simultaneously for more than 24 hours. So yes, emergencies, it's definitely capable. And it says with 35% charge left in the battery, EV6 can tow items weighing 1,600 kilograms. That's like 3,000 pounds or a little bit over 3,000 pounds. And that's pretty fantastic. Now, it looks like maybe it limits itself with 35% charge left in the battery. Maybe it's like, hey, don't tow anymore. I don't know. It's interesting that they put with 35% charge left in the battery. Okay, so we'll be using a heat pump, and so this will help out cold driving range. It says at 7 degrees minus, so minus 7 degrees Celsius. I'll put what that is in Fahrenheit. It's really not that cold in Fahrenheit. But the car can still achieve 80% of the range will be possible at 25 degrees Celsius if it didn't have the heat pump. So it's going to be much, much better compared to previous attempts by the Korean automakers at performing in the cold weather. There are 6 regenerative braking levels, none, so just coast, 1 to 3, I-pedal or auto mode. And this I-pedal driving mode allows the car to harvest the maximum amount of energy from its brakes and enables to bring the car to a gentle halt without needing to push the brake pedal. So that's your one pedal driving. It's called I-pedal. Now, I mentioned the curved screens. So you get two 12-inch screens that are curved towards the driver. And it looks like there's a new augmented reality heads-up display system, which I've heard that the Ioniq 5 is going to have the same thing. Okay, we have some dimensions here of the vehicle at the bottom, and I didn't even know this was here, so I had to I actually did it the hard way and extrapolated all the information from sentences above, but I did get it into a spreadsheet for you guys, so we're heading on over to the spreadsheet, and a lot of it is the same as Ioniq 5, or really, really close to the Ioniq 5. It's the same platform. I'm assuming they're using the same batteries and motors, and after this press release today, it's pretty much confirmed, except for the big bad boy at the top of the line. I had no idea Kia was swinging for the fences here with this EV6 GT all-wheel drive. They even had it at the reveal. They had it race against some very noteworthy fast cars. It had it coming in second, it looked like, behind a McLaren 570S, but let's be real, that car would absolutely dust this. 0 to 60, it's faster. Quarter mile, it's way faster. And even the Lamborghini Urus on paper is noticeably faster than this vehicle. So always take that with a grain of salt. But they're just trying to say that the Kia EV6, a Kia electric car, is keeping up with some of the fastest combustion engine cars on the road today. That's really what it's just saying. All right, so the GT all-wheel drive, 576 horsepower, about 550 pound-feet of torque. The range here might be around 300 miles. Actually, it might be a little bit less with the 77 kilowatt-hour battery on this GT. I'm guessing it's going to be $60,000 and 0 to 60 under 3.5 seconds, because 3.5 seconds was for 0 to 100 kilometers. We know that's 62 miles per hour. Now, these options here are pretty much in line with what we see from the Ioniq 5 and 6. So I think it's just a matter of time before Hyundai's just like, oh, here's our Ioniq 5N or N-line or whatever they want to call it. Like, you know, Hyundai has the N-line and the N performance cars. They could do the same thing for the Ioniq brand, as have an N Ioniq. So we'll see with that, and that would roughly match up with the EV6 GT. But there's also going to be GT lines, and it looks like you're going to have the option of all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and both battery packs. I think on the GT line, you'll also be able to get the 58 kilowatt-hour battery pack as well. So the base car, just like the Ioniq 5, is going to have 167 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. We don't know if that's the base car that will be here in the United States. Maybe the base car here in the United States would be this guy here with 225 horsepower. That makes more sense to me, as our market's a little bit more demanding of vehicles, especially our high speeds. But 0 to 60 on the rear-wheel drive models are still pretty quick, in the mid-7s, and then the all-wheel drive model with the smaller battery pack will be about 6 seconds, as I'm assuming, and then maybe about 5 seconds on the more powerful all-wheel drive system and setup with the larger battery pack. Guys, there's no pricing yet, but I would expect the EV6 GT to be around 60K because the Tesla Model Y performance is around that. And yeah, they're about the same speed. Maybe the Kia one's even faster, has theory better specs. If we look at the Ford Mach-E GT all-wheel drive, that is going to have about close to 500 horsepower, not quite as much, and 0 to 60 might not even be as fast as this Kia, guys. And that price is around 60K or more before the incentives or the credits, the governmental tax credits. So, and don't forget about the Nissan Ariya. Not quite as powerful, but depending on the price, it could be pretty tempting there. And so, guys, EV space is definitely heating up. I was expecting more from Lexus, actually a little bit more this morning during that live stream, but that was, like I said, a nothing burger. Good thing that my appetite was satiated for some EV news, some EV updates through Kia here with the EV6. And man, I was not expecting a GT with almost 600 horsepower in a Kia, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you haven't. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. And as always, peace out.